Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about night terrors, what they are, how they differ from nightmares, and how we can treat them. Now to tell you a little bit about what nightmares are most common in children. However, around 50% of adults report having nightmares on occasion, and around 2 to 8% of adults are plagued by nightmares. And nightmares occur during our REM sleep cycle. What REM stands for is rapid eye movement. It's that time during our sleep when we are at our deepest level and our eyes will jet from left to right even though our eyelids are closed, and that's our brain's way of processing through what's happened that day or possibly during our lifetime. And when we wake from these nightmares, we often remember many details of the nightmare, what was happening, why it was frightening, etc. If you like learning about mental health information, don't forget to subscribe. I put out videos twice a week, and make sure you turn on those notifications so that you don't miss out. Now moving on to night terrors. Now night terrors are also most common in children, and it happens between the ages of 3 and 12, reaching its peak usually around 3.5 years old, just to give you some idea of when it usually happens most. But they can also happen in adults. And the thing that's different from nightmares to night terrors is that night terrors happen during non-REM sleep, meaning it's not at our deepest level of sleep. And when we wake from these frightening experiences, we don't have any recollection about what it was, what frightened us. We may wake screaming and not know why. It's just very different. While night terrors can have a lot of different characteristics, just like everything in life, people are going to experience things differently, and it may feel differently to you. But I want to read to you because the National Sleep Foundation states that sleep terrors do have common characteristics. They usually include arousal, meaning we are fully awake and fully alert, agitation, obviously, large pupils, sweating, and intense blood pressure. So to me, when I was reading all of those symptoms, we are in almost fight or flight. Our body is ready to get at it. Pupils dilated so we can see what's around us. We are sweating. Our body is up and agitated and aroused so that really we can protect ourselves. Now, obviously, when we wake from these night terrors, we are hyper alert. Like I said, it's putting us into our fight or flight response. Our pupils are dilated, we're sweaty, we're awake and alert. And the truth about it is, although we wake terrified and upset, it can take us just maybe 5-10 minutes to calm back down and go back to sleep. They say night terrors are caused by a fear response in our system while our body transitions from sleep level 3 to 4. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when we go to sleep, we slowly transition down deeper and deeper through the 4 levels into our REM sleep cycle. And so they say that night terrors happen when we're transitioning from level 3 to 4. And that's why night terrors don't happen during REM sleep, because they're happening when we're transitioning from sleep level 3 to 4, usually about 90 minutes into us falling asleep. And although we don't really know the cause, I wrote down some of the most common reasons. And the first is a stressful life event. Second being fever. If we've had a really high fever, they find these to be more frequent. 3, sleep deprivation. 4, medications that affect your nervous system, meaning that it affects your brain. And so whatever is triggering this fear response may be caused by a medication. And the 5th and final one is recent anesthesia given for surgery. And you can see why all of these kind of play a role, because if we're talking about night terrors and we're talking about the way that our brain works and lets us fall into our sleep cycle, anything that affects the way our brain operates and the way it actually lets us go to sleep could cause it. Now, like every video, let's end with how we treat it. If we struggle with nightmares or night terrors, what are some things that we can do? Now, the first thing that we can do to make night terrors happen with less frequency is managing our stress levels. I know that can sound really overwhelming, but trust me, there are a few simple things that we can do. Number 1, we can make sure that we're eating regularly. Number 2, we can make sure we're drinking enough water. Number 3, we can make sure that we spend enough time with those we love and people who support us. And the last, and number 4, is making sure that we make time for ourselves and the things that we really want to do. The second way to deal with night terrors is making sure that your bedroom and room are safe. Often when we wake up and flail around. We want to make sure there's no sharp edges, no hard toys if this is a child, nothing that could harm us when we wake from this terrifying feeling. The third tip is keeping regular sleep and wake cycles, because we find when our body just gets used to falling asleep around 10:30 and waking up at 8 or whatever your schedule is, it slowly gets used to it, making the transition in our sleep levels more smooth and hopefully night terror free. And the fourth and final tip is to have someone wake you 15 minutes before the expected night terror. Now, I know this is going to be hard, but if these are happening often, we will know around the time, like I said, usually it's in the first 90 minutes, we'll get to know our cycles and when our body tends to have these happen and have that fear response. And so having someone wake us up, keep us up for about 5 minutes, and then let us go back to sleep, because they find that if we do that, the occurrence of night terrors goes way down. If you have other tips and tricks and things that have helped you stop night terrors, let us know in the comments, or if you have ideas for other videos, let us know. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!